Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Claire. I make art and music. I just released an album. It's called A Normal Sized Bed. Go stream that. And today I am the girl from A Bad Case of Stripes because I received this wonderful, lovely comment. And thank you, Mike. But today I wanted to talk about how I went to my first concert on the 27th of July, and that was My Chemical Romance's Long Live the Black Parade tour, and it was their second night in LA. And I went with my good friend Tuna. Shout out to Tuna. So, My Chemical Romance has always been like a big part of my life, I'd say. I grew up listening to them because my mom would play their music around the house or in the car on the way to school and stuff. She's kind of emo. I think I get it from her. But anyway, um, I started listening to My Chemical Romance like on my own terms fairly recently, like maybe like 4 months ago, maybe. But once I started listening to them on my own, like I became like a really big fan. And this wasn't on purpose, but I may have dragged Tuna into this little world of MCR and pop punk stuff. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm not upset that it happened. I now have a buddy to talk about um, my favorite middle aged white men, and that is great. And so when we found out that we'd be able to go to the concert, we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. And so I'm gonna talk about the Saturday before the show and then the actual show itself. So yeah. Friday night, Tuna texts me saying, hey, do you want to go on a field trip with me tomorrow in the morning? And I was like, okay, I want to go on a field trip. And so that field trip was to find stuff for their costume. I already had my stuff sorted out, but Tuna needed to find like a tie and whatever because he wanted to be Gerard and I was going to be Frank. Let me be Frank. But anyway, um, my costume was inspired by Frank's look from the Revenge era and then also the Project Revolution era because I really like how he looked in 2007.
If you keep fucking moving like that, you're gonna get Daddy's little sausage happy. You know what happens when my sausage gets happy? Daddy does things he regrets.
And sometimes Baby Girl is a 43-year-old Italian man from New Jersey. But anyway, um, Tuna was Gerard from the I'm Not Okay either music video or live performance. I forgot. Tuna, correct me if I'm wrong, or whichever one it is. But anyway, we did that. We went around town. We found a tie. We went out of town to get lunch from this Japanese supermarket that we like. And there was also a Halloween store like across the street, so we decided to go there and look for white face paint. We found that. And then we went back home and we went to Walmart to find a clear bag because stadium guidelines. And then we called it a day. Actually, before all of that, we went to our local Barnes and Noble to try to find that My Chemical Romance magazine. Could not find it. So we're like, okay, let's try again tomorrow before the show. And so after all of that, we called it a day. And then we were like, oh my god, this is actually real. We're going to be seeing our favorite middle aged men play live, and it's going to be awesome. And so the next day comes. I woke up like really early. Tuna did not. But we're like, okay, let's leave at like noon. And so we did. We left town around noon. We ended up at the Grove. We were like in costume. I had the the look with the X's over my eyes. Um, Here's a picture. This is what we looked like. And then some guy at the Grove, I guess, like yelled at us, and they were like, "Emos!" I didn't hear it. Tuna heard it. Um, so that was that. And then we went into Barnes and Noble. We couldn't find the magazine again. I might just order it online or something. But yeah, we did that. And then we went to Little Tokyo because we're like, let's get snacks and stuff to eat because we're hungry. Dodger Stadium also allowed us to bring in food. So we were like, okay, let's get a bag of chips to bring in. And then Tuna also wanted Pocari Sweat. So we went to another Japanese market and we got a big bag of shrimp chips, and we were on our merry way. And then we ended up at the stadium at around 4:35, and they had like the early access to merch, like that whole merch area open at like 4 p.m., I think. And so we got in line. The wait was about like 45 minutes, which was like really not that bad. And I bought some pins, picture here. Tuna bought a shirt and a hoodie. I don't have pictures of that, but I do want to say I was a little jealous of the San Francisco merch, but that was because like 100 Gex was playing, and their shirt was like, I pooped my pants at the 100 Gex and MCR show, blah blah blah. I thought that was really fun, and I wish we had something like that in LA, but I'm not complaining. I got to see one of my favorite bands play, so there was that. And there was also this really, really, really nice lady in the line behind us. I don't know her name or where she sat, and we never saw her again, but she was really nice, and shout out to her. But anyway, we bought our merch. It was a lot of money, but it's okay. And then we went in the line to get into the stadium, and that was really quick. Like, that was like really quick. And so we were happy about that. We were also like really early, so that's probably why. And then we waited a little while. I started digging into the shrimp chips because I was hungry, and shrimp chips are really good. And then Wallows played right at 7 o'clock. Like, as soon as it hit 7 o'clock, they were on stage, and we were like, very punctual. But anyway, Wallows, I love them. Shout out to them. They had a good mix of like old and new songs. I haven't really listened to them since 2020, I want to say. But they played a lot of good stuff. All of their stuff was good. My favorites from their set list that night were Your Apartment, Calling After Me, and Pleaser. The first two songs I hadn't heard because that was from their like 2024 album, I think. And then Pleaser was one of the first songs I learned on guitar. So I was very happy about that. And also, I know they were the opener, but there was also like no energy for them, and I was really sad because I really liked their music. And so now I'm kind of into their music again, which is kind of nice. It takes me back to when I was in 7th grade and really getting into music. But yeah, that was Wallows, and that was really great and awesome. Wallows was done playing at like 7:45-ish, and then I was a little bit sad because I really liked their set, and I was sad that it was over. But MCR went on at like 8:30, and that was very fun to watch. They sounded great. Black Parade was obviously amazing. All the like theatrics was really cool. Lots of fire, big fan of that. I in my notes that I wrote for this video, I wrote Grand Immortal Dictator ate giant hot dog. Something Gerard was throwing hot dogs into the audience. I was a big fan of that. I thought that was really fun. Yeah. I teared up a couple times. Tuna teared up a couple times during that whole set. And then they went off stage to change out of their like uniforms and play their second set. And oh boy. Like before MCR went on stage, I think this was like right after Wallows got off stage, Tuna and I filmed this video.
Frankleton, please, this is coming from Freakless IURO. Please play Ghost of You.
Geriatric weed.
Please play Ghost of You. Please
Play Ghost of You. Please play Ghost of You.
They didn't play Ghost of You night one, so I was really, really, really hoping that they would just save it for night two. And they were like, okay, let's go on to the second set. And they played Helena. And that really threw us off guard because they were closing a lot of their shows with Helena. So we're like, something about this is going to be different. And so they played Helena. That was great. They played Na Na Na, I think. Yeah. And that was also great. And then Gerard goes, we're going to be playing a song off of Revenge. And we're like Tuna and I looked at each other and we're like, is it? Is it Ghost of You? Is it going to be Ghost of You? And boy was it. I'm gonna put this video. Yeah, so I didn't catch this on camera at first, but when they started playing the intro riff for Ghost of You, I didn't actually recognize it at first, and then Tuna goes, "Oh my god, they're playing Ghost of You," and I was like, "Oh my god, they are playing Ghost of You." And as soon as I realized, like, I just started bawling my eyes out, like, I just felt like tears falling down my face, and then I was just sobbing uncontrollably. I've never sobbed that hard in my entire life, I don't think. So to think that I was sobbing that hard over My Chemical Romance, I think that's pretty funny. But oh my god, I was screaming my lungs out. I was probably being really annoying to the people in front of me. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Tuna, because I was basically like scream crying in his ear. And oh my god, like when it was over, like they played I'm Not Okay, and then I just like kept crying, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. So big fan of that. And they actually played a lot of songs off of Revenge. I'll put the set list here. Yeah, like they played a lot of stuff off of Revenge, like more than I thought they would. Not complaining at all. That's like my favorite album. Um, yeah, it was great. And then the show ended at like 10:45, I think. And then Tuna and I went to go to the shuttle, and we waited until 12:30. I think that's when we got on the shuttle to go back to Union Station. And I'm just really glad that they didn't stop the shuttles early, because on the website it said something like they run the shuttles 40 like until like 45 minutes after, like the first 45 minutes after the thing ends, or until like everybody's on a shuttle to go back. Thank god it was the latter, because if they only waited like 45 minutes we would have been cooked. It's like a mile long walk, I think, to get back to Union Station from Dodger Stadium. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that late at night, a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. But we got on our shuttle, we were very relieved. And then we got back home at like, I don't know, almost 2 o'clock. But it was great and wonderful. I was so tired. Oh my god, I was so tired. But yeah, it was wonderful. And I'm really glad that MCR was my very first concert. And I hope you enjoyed me rambling. I actually still have my sign, like, just out. Yay, nay. It's a little well loved. It's got like a decent sized rip at the bottom, because when I was freaking out, I think I hit the sign too many times because it was like in my lap. But yeah, I'm really glad that I went to that concert. Thank you, Tuna, for taking me. It was a great time. Thank you for watching. I need to wash this face paint off, but it's probably gonna like stain my face yellow, because the huge chunk of yellow and then green on my face. But yeah, thank you for watching. Stream my album, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.